Untitled. Mother told me before she left to be influential, to tell them boys what they're capable of and remind these girls that they're beautiful. After she died, I learned life is a word that can be easily abbreviated. I am here to pick up the fallen souls and to keep them elevated. Dear Mama, don't cry, your baby boy is doing good. I made an acronym out of the ghetto and I moved out of the hood. I took on the responsibilities of the world like a man should. Will God forgive me for my sins, or will the devil get tired every time he wins? Every night before I sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord will welcome me with a handshake. I see the world's pain from the heavens above. I see the lost children searching for love. Everyone wants to play the same game, unaware that it has been fixed. And this might sound like a joke, but don't be silly. Tricks are for kids. So I beg you to think before you react, or there will be days before your mother can relax. After she sends you away with one last kiss, now you are walking into the gates of hell with God's permission, looking back at life, wishing you would have listened. You awake for one last time, and you have promised to stop this crime. You wake up and thank God. Last night, you were almost beaten to death. Your heart tells you to leave him, but it's hard to erase his memories from your head. You stare at him sleeping peacefully in the bed, crying and terrified for what is ahead. He makes you feel like nothing, but baby girl, every time you look in the mirror, don't you see something? 'Cause I see a beautiful woman, a strong individual who can conquer anything she may desire. Please put that needle down and allow me to share something with you that can make you feel higher. You see that door? Go on, give it a small push. Let the world bow at your feet, 'cause you are a queen, a woman who was born to lead, be the rose that rises from the concrete. Hey, my son, I know you are hungry, but why take it out on an innocent man? You are too quick to pull out the clip hidden on your hip, point it at his lip instead of giving him a hand. You have committed your first murder, and you have an overwhelming adrenaline rush. And the sad part is that it's only your soul being crushed. You begin to run, and suddenly you scream, oh fuck, that kid, the same kid that you just called a punk. Now you are introduced to karma as he twists the knife penetrated in your gut. Goodbye, my child, you will be forgiven. We all make mistakes. We are all God's children. This is called The Beauty of It. They called me a problem child, a troublemaker, the bad kid. They put their heads together to figure out what was wrong with me, never questioning their definition of right. They put a name on my struggles, ADHD. A common disorder, said the doctor. Here, take these pills. Nothing changed. Take these too, then these. Still nothing? Take more. These ones are good, Mama told me. Beth takes them and she says they work. They work? Has she been fixed? Does she blindly obey the rules and follow directions without a second thought? Have all her kinks been straightened out so she slides in neatly beside her peers as they roll down the assembly line? Is that a success story? When they first asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, they said I could be anything. I dreamed an astronaut, a scientist, a CEO, the president. When they asked me a few years later, the listings had changed. Maybe you can be an accountant, a computer programmer, a teacher. When I dropped out, they shook their heads and said, maybe you can be a plumber, a gardener, maybe you can join the army. I've grown up, and let me tell you what I am. I'm a deep thinker and an avid reader. I'm an eager student and a patient teacher. I'm a doer, I'm a dreamer, I'm a brother, I'm a leader. I'm a mountain climber, I'm a big wave surfer. I'm an adventurer, I'm an explorer. I'm a photographer, I'm a philosopher. I'm an astronomer, I'm an anthropologist. I'm a passionate lover, I'm a fierce fighter. In evenings, I'm a cook. When I'm inspired, I'm a writer. On occasion, I'm a fisherman. Sometimes I'm a boy, sometimes I'm a man. I'm a human being, and I'm a little uncertain at times what lies ahead of me. But isn't that the beauty of it? This is titled My Life. In 2001, when I was a young child, I would do things that could help me learn how to run a business. I am from Eritrea, Africa, which is a very poor country. I would sell old shoes and tires from bikes to make ends meet, but each day was a struggle to survive. I had a friend who was also doing as I was to get ahead in a troubled life of survival. We both worked hard for 2 years together and was seeking a way out of our conditions. After 2 years of scraping by to get by, I, Yikalo G, went to Ethiopia to seek a better life for myself. I today thank God that I had the ambition and determination to find a better life for myself. Amen. I did this without family or friends, and I am here today because in my heart, God has always been with me. I became a refugee in Ethiopia as I wandered the state with no friends or family. As a refugee, I was fed better than I had been fed most of my life. After 4 months in this refugee camp, my mother found me in this place and filled out the necessary paperwork to take responsibility for me. I loved her so much for loving me and coming to my aid. 2 weeks from the day my mother came to get me, the rest of my family went to another refugee camp for families who wanted to go to America to seek a new life. I was very happy at this time because we had our own place and was together again. After a period of 3 years, my family was so fortunate to be sent to America, and this was the happiest day of my life. When we got to Florida, I met my dad for the second time of my life because he had been in America for 10 years. In 2009, I started classes in ESL English as a second language. These classes helped me improve my English, but today I realize I have a lot of work ahead to better communicate the English language. While in school, I became unruly and was arguing and fighting with my teachers. I believe a lot of my rebelliousness came from my communication barrier and being immature. For the first year of school, I was attentive, on time, and completed my homework. As time went on, I became less involved with my schoolwork and more involved with my mischief. I did successfully graduate. In 2010, I enrolled in Garfield High School in Seattle and linked up with the wrong peers and disregarded my education. I skipped school and ended up being suspended for fighting. My English teacher gave me some advice that I tried to use, and for a while I was responsible and focused on schoolwork. But after a month or so, I stopped coming to school completely. The principal sent a letter to my house at the end of the school year asking if I intended on going back to school in 2012. My mom went to see the principal to discuss it all, that I was doing well at school. My mom was hurt that I wasn't showing up to school because she had no clue I was always absent. I became addicted to smoking cigarettes and marijuana during the summer, and this made it even more difficult to stay in school. After 3 months of being absent, I was expelled from Garfield, so I cared less about doing the right things and commenced to doing more mischief. One day, in 2013, a friend of mine said something to me that stuck in my mind. He told me I was a follower and not a leader, and that I don't use my own mind. This hurt me, and today I realized that this hurt me because it was true. Hearing this started me on a path of thinking for myself and planning my future. My main goal is to better my education so I can become a better person and one day contribute to society. America is a great country that welcomes people from all over the world, and there are many opportunities for me to succeed if I work hard, don't make excuses, get in school, and surround myself with positive people. Today I have a purpose and direction to follow that will hopefully bring me happiness and support to my family. Now I'm going to read one of my own poems. It's called When We Broke Up. When we broke up, you started calling things gay again. And my dear, of all the simple birds in the sky, the mad ones in the purple colors, I stand before gazes like I stand before the back hall comments, uncertain and fleeting. I used to throw plaster over my organs that govern my emotions, and you lost a sense of activism and a heart chamber when you lost me. The plaster hurt and it covered, but without the plaster, I was gay. Simple birds fleet from a human gaze, and simple birds place plaster over their pigeon feathers, but I no longer feel like a simple bird. I will raise my neck and my aching breastbones up to the sky, and I will support the kind of love I see as fitting to my own body. It's my body. And maybe to their lunch table mouths, gay means eggshells, but to me it means every shade of a sunset that looms over an ocean of people whose skeletal structures have identical bone marrow. When we broke up, I saw why we broke up, and I coughed out the plaster holding my heart in place, and that's when I was able to be a songbird. A songbird of simple pleasures and wide-eyed lovemaking, a songbird of hello nice to meet yous between dark and spitty coffee next to people that let me brush my hair in my own pattern. People of my gender who listen to music backwards to hear a new guitar of truth and kiss long eyelashes because beauty manifests within my navy button-up shirts that are shared between unbuttoned and rebuttoned jeans and crowns. I hope that you find yourself, because no one remains a simple and songless bird for their entire wingspan. One day, you will remember what it felt like to tweet and prance and sing with the word gay instead of spitting and choking it out like girded and rotting birdseed. Underneath and below the high school bleachers with your vulture hands and raven tones. But even though we broke up, I know you were meant to have a song. I hope to hear it one day.